it's a mashup of the serious parts of life and then just eat your fruits and vegetables. Yet we're walking around on tippy toes. And I remember that we tried to record and our kids would suddenly be beating each other up in the next room or ruining a take. I have so many ruined takes. And I think at some point we gave up and I just would leave like the take in there where you can hear somebody screaming in the background.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week we talk with folk duo The Falderals. We revisit their 2011 album Radio, talk about how they met in Armenia, recording and touring with 3 kids, and the oversized influence of 2 albums from the 1960s. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have joining us all the way from across the river in St. Paul, the Falderals.
Hi. Happy to be here.
Welcome.
Oh, we are so happy to have you. And we have Alan joining us from Texas. Happy Friday from Texas. Buddy, can you spare some rain? We would love to send some rain your way.
We would
Alan.
love to.
Yeah.
It's been raining for 2 days now, right?
Yeah. It's definitely kind of dark and cool now. And we have Kermit and Christy coming in from Cambridge. Sans beverage. Oh, no. Well, luckily. There's still time. Yeah. And Connie joining us. Hello.
Hey, Connie.
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you are joining us, tell us where you are tuned in from. If you're enjoying a beverage or a snack, we consider this our weekly happy hour. So if you have something, if you're enjoying something, please let us know what it is. Tony, are you enjoying any kind of beverage?
I am. I'm once again going with the Buckler, a NA beer from Holland. And it was so delicious last week. I thought I'd have another one, and I'm enjoying it in my Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass.
Tasty, tasty.
How about you?
Well, as we said, the weather's gotten kind of cool and rainy and actually acting like fall. So I broke out the red box.
Ooh,
I know.
Nice.
So very fancy. Yeah. Yes. A Cabernet going on. And Rebecca and Andrew, are you guys enjoying any kind of beverages?
You know, it's True Friday for us.
Yep.
Because it's MEA weekend and we're both teachers. So we're having a little scotch.
Yes. And the weather calls for a little scotch. Yes.
Nice.
And some seltzer on the side.
Nice.
But usually it's a red box, Mother Banjo. What's your box of choice?
Yeah. Well, cheers to you. And especially to the teachers out there. We really appreciate all you do.
Cheers to all the teachers for sure.
And for those of you who maybe aren't tuned in from here in Minnesota, MEA weekend is when all the schools are closed for a few days, and teachers, there's some professional training and also some much needed break for teachers and other folks who work in the schools. So, meanwhile, I think the parents all officially recognize in that very long weekend how much the teachers do and deal with on a daily basis. So,
yeah, we had our conferences today at our school, so we know all about it.
Exactly.
And it looks like our friend Chris is joining us, and he says, "What else do you do on a fall day in Minnesota but barbecue ribs paired with a Pinot?"
Oh, man.
Well, cheers, Chris.
I think I want to be at Chris's house.
Yeah.
Man. I feel like every week he's enjoying something really tasty. So, well, I can tell you we're going to enjoy something tasty, musically tasty today on the Back Catalog Listening Party. The Falderals are a duo from St. Paul, Minnesota, and I've been a fan of theirs ever since the album we're going to talk about today came out. So I'm really excited that this is the album that you chose to feature on today's show. As we go today, again, if you are joining us for the live show, feel free to throw your comments and questions in the live chat as we go, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. And for folks who maybe aren't as familiar with your music as maybe I am, maybe Rebecca and Andrew, you can share a little bit about the origin story of the Falderals, like how where each of you grew up and how you came together to make music.
Well, I grew up in Anoka, Minnesota, and Andrew is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we met all the way in Armenia in the Peace Corps. So I showed up with a guitar, he had a guitar, and we had to come together and start collaborating. We even recorded our very, very first album in a Russian Armenian studio.
Oh, wow.
Soviet giant studio, reel to reel. It was fun. But yeah, it was hard to bring a guitar to Peace Corps. You had very limited packing space. So when she got off the plane and had a guitar with her, I was like, already.
It shows her priorities, right?
I was like 49% in love. And then she also had a carton of Winston's. So I went to
different times.
But right away. And then I heard her sing.
Oh.
And yeah.
That was it. Then we started, just playing together.
We did. We recorded in a old giant Russian recording studio, which we have the tracks of that somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the guy. It was reel to reel, which I've never worked with. And he bleeped out our mistakes with Scotch tape on the.
Yes. Yep.
It was I still want to go back and know the science behind that, but I remember watching him do that, and it was perfect. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah,
and then we got married in 2002. We actually, this is so cheesy, but we did for like a take-home gift for to give away for your wedding favor. We did a CD. We did like a little wedding album. It was called Welcome to Our Living Room.
Recorded on a Tascam 4-track in our Chicago apartments on terrible mics, but there's still a couple songs on there that we're planning to remaster that we really are proud of. But yeah.
Wow, that's setting the bar high for wedding favors.
We actually jokingly, when you said back catalog, we were like, we could go that far back, but there's no access to any of those songs. But yeah, wedding favor.
Wow, that's so great.
And we were street musicians in Chicago.
Yeah,
for a while. We just busked. We didn't even give ourselves a name till after we had 2 kids, right?
Yeah,
and then we decided to be the Falderals, and we've been playing together ever since.
While we're on that topic, I'd love to know a little bit about the name.
Go for it, Andy.
So, besides being really hard for everybody to pronounce, Falderal just means nonsense. And it has 2 spellings, but it was used in old folk songs as a filler. It was like la la la. There's many an old folk song where they say Falderal diddly-o-day, Falderal da-da. And so I just really like that connection with old folk music, with the idea of nonsense, the idea of being in a folk band. And so the Falderals is like the nonsense folk group.
Nice. Has it made into any of your lyrics?
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
It's dropped into a couple songs.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
Oh, it's in Oh My Mind.
It's in Oh My Mind.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's going to be the first song we're going to take a listen to. But I do also want to mention, because I remembered, I was trying to remember what the definition of was last night. And I looked it up because I knew I knew the kind of musical sense of like it kind of being like nonsense filler words and songs. But when I looked it up, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, it also said another definition is nonsensical fuss or a showy but useless item.
And that's how it's used today. It's like bric-a-brac.
Yeah.
Like you go into an antique store and an old lady will be like, and here's the folder.
Yeah. And I think Oprah once said, that's just a bunch of Falderals, so it's,
I love that. I love that. Well, it's a great name, although I would not call any of your songs nonsensical or trivial, but playful, yes. I can definitely see that in your music. So we're going to revisit your album Radio that came out in 2011. And the first track that you picked to feature is the song you were mentioning. So this has some Falderal lyrical content. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's I think the line is, "Oh, what gall the Falderals." So
2 guitars in the 3rd degree.
In the 3rd degree, yeah.
Like that.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to say about the song before we take a listen?
There's a really cool video that featured our 3 kids. I was on a girls' weekend, and he made a video with our 3 children, and it's really precious, if anything, for me, just as a memory of our little ones playing instruments, being goofy.
They were all under 10 at the time of this album. So we set them up in the basement with my daughter's even on a keyboard. She doesn't even know what she's doing, drum, guitar, and we tried to sync it.
So check it out on our YouTube channel. Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous. And the kids are still horrified by the fact that it's out there, but we're never taking it down.
They're going to really hate to know that I'm going to be adding a link to this video at the show notes at backcataloglisteningparty.com if you're just listening to the podcast. But for now, let's give the audio version a spin. This is the Falderals with Oh My, sound advice here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Oh my, don't blame the sky for the rain that's falling in your head. Oh my dear, don't blame the beer for the man that's crawling in your bed.
All right. The Falderals with Oh My, sound advice from their 2011 release Radio, which we are revisiting today on the Back Catalog Listening Party with Rebecca and Andrew from the Falderals joining us live to chat about it. And, you mentioned that you had 3 kids under 10 when this came out, and you said they were featured in the video. I'm just impressed that you were able to record an album when you had 3 kids under 10. Tell us about how you, how long did it take you to make a record? Did you do it in little chunks along the way, or did you just we have to set aside a weekend when they're with the grandparents or something?
We are always just little chunks along the way. I think occasionally we would set aside time, but I honestly, we picked Radio to listen to because it was our first kind of bigger release besides the 4-track wedding album. And our CD after that, we used to burn copies before every gig and put a sticker on it. You know, when you could you'd print the sticker out and you'd sell 5 and we'd do another. And I still only have 1 copy of that left. So this is our first big one. But I honestly, looking back, I was like, when did we record this? And it was in this room. And we actually had a friend master it. But it is kind of a blur.
And we had our friends play on it. Shane Akers did the dobro.
Talk about good friends.
I know. And then Kari Shah sang, you'll hear her later. But we pulled in, you know, we were trying to have fun and just, you know, do it in chunks. Yeah. But I don't know how we did it either.
You did it there. I mean, was it during nap time or something?
Yes. You know,
it was during nap time.
It was. And we were very strict about our kids' schedules. Like they're going to bed at 7 and then we would play music. But I think it was to keep us sane too, because it was really like, we were in the throes of parenthood. And I think I needed art. I needed something to like balance that. Yeah. So it was, we made it fun, but I
think that song was written about that process. And that's what made me think of that song in those years. Cause it's a mashup of the serious parts of life and then just eat your fruits and vegetables. Yet we're walking around on tippy toes. And I remember that we tried to record and our kids would suddenly be beating each other up in the next room or ruining a take. I have so many ruined takes. And I think at some point we gave up and I just would leave like the take in there where you can hear somebody screaming in the background. But it was done very lo-fi. It was done
very
in this room, an old big old desktop computer, but we had a Pro Tool set up and we're recording.
Called in all our favors from our friends.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the first album where someone told me you have to master albums.
Not just turn it up.
And I was like, and so we got a good friend in who mastered it, Michael Cavett, and did a great job and mixed it. Yeah, it was a trip.
Well, it did its job because the album's called Radio. And I believe, I don't know if I heard you play first, but I kind of feel like I might have just gotten the record sent to me for my radio show. Because I remember when I got it, I like loved it and I played it a lot. And so you also, I mean, you actually like, after spending all this time and, late at night after your kids are asleep trying to put this thing together, it might have been your first more professional effort, but it did have legs. It seemed to like get out there and you guys really, put something behind it.
We tried. I don't know.
It was a hit in our household. That's all I gotta say.
I love it. Hey, I'll take it.
I mean, we're so confused. We were trying to figure out if this was the album we went on a tour with. We did a tour with our kids, 3 kids in a minivan. I mean, it wasn't an epic tour. It was like 10 stops, but we made it all the way to DC, Texas, and still the map up there, Omaha, St. Louis. But this was not the album, turns out.
Oh. But anyway, yeah.
Well, Alan, who's joining us from Texas, let us know if you ever happen to have seen the Falderals, roaming around Texas with their 3 kids. He's always trying to recruit artists to come down to his neck of the woods. So,
well, and speaking of kids, and just obviously there's the playful imagery in the last tune, and your kids were in the other room. I was noticing on this album artwork here, it looks like a crayon drawing, perhaps. Like, I'd just be curious. I mean, at least the what looks like maybe a tree or something. For those who are just listening, it's a beautiful piece of art. And it looks like there's a cloudy sky and some grass, and there's this really interesting, I don't know, it looks like somewhat like a plant, or that's also flaming leaves or something. But it I don't know if I can. That's kind of a small image, but it almost looks like it could be a piece of artwork from one of you guys, or is this? Can you tell us a little bit about where this came from?
Yeah, you may think it was one of our children, but it was me. And I have been a part of the artwork on all of our albums, and we kind of have kept it sort of thematic, in just trying to have an organic Falderals tree, our kids would call it now, but just having a little bit of a lot of I do some visual art, and I use really bright colors. But we also had our friend Erica Stenrick do the graphic part behind it. So it was a collaboration between my crayon art and her sort of graphic art. So
it's gorgeous. It really pops.
Really
But I was curious about the medium, because there's something about the crayon that
definitely
as the way that you got that across that also seems to be fitting this theme. So
exactly, and it is. I think it's colored pencil. It's colored pencil crayon. Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, yeah, it's beautiful artwork. And speaking of the beautiful artwork, and I do have a CD somewhere nearby on one of my shelves here. It is really beautiful. And you know what? If you want the physical copy to have your own artwork, they still have CD copies of this album. So there it is, looking so beautiful. And
Look
the
at that.
CD
and that's
too.
not just a sticker on top either, I bet.
Yeah, I know.
No,
That's
it's
a pro
not.
job. Yeah.
Copycat.
Real deal.
Copycat. Real deal.
Well, you can pick up your own CD copy if you go to thefalderals.com or Bandcamp, and you can pick up a CD copy as well as, of course, the digital tracks. But we are big fans on the back catalog of promoting the CD version, not just to hear the best audio quality of the tracks, but also because you get the artwork too, which I think is just an added bonus.
Yeah.
So especially, and now that you know that this is an Rebecca and Destic original here on the album art, so you can check that out.
Yeah, and it looks like our friend Alan, who's down in Green, Texas, says the Falderals have a place to stay here in Green. So bring the whole gang.
Yes.
He's got enough rooms for all the kids, too.
Love it.
Luckily, 2 are now in college, so
Oh, so the gang is smaller.
now we have so much more time to record music.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey there, would you like to be part of the live show? Well, become a member of the Back Catalog Listening Party Patreon, and you'll get a backstage pass to weekly online tapings where you can ask the artist questions and participate in the live chat with a fun community of like-minded music nerds. You'll also get a first look at upcoming guests and receive invitations to special live streams and private after parties. So join the party today at patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party.
Well, we're going to get to hear more music from this album. The next track that you picked to feature from radio is called Warm Things. And as things get cooler here in the Twin Cities, we could use some warm things. What can you tell us about this tune?
This song. So radio was really a lot about our kids and life, but it also was during a hard time when we had lost a really close friend who was in the Peace Corps with us. So this song is an homage to him and life we lived with him and his wife in the Peace Corps. We were very close. And that time in the winter, it's the same in Minnesota, but in Armenia, it was even more so. When winter hit, you
hunkered down.
Hunkered down.
Yeah. There wasn't heat. They didn't have central heat.
You had maybe a little fire pit in the middle of the house, and you were just in everything you owned. And so Warm Things is about that, in the reflection of, just a love affair that happens in the winter and then ends in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a spin. This is the Falderals with Warm Things here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
You got something to get over. Try leaving Minnesota with some regrets still wet from the rain. You can take the rest of the money from the jar in the kitchen, from the time when we had a play. You were gonna finish school, and I'd play songs for change. one suitcase. You never really settled. You were waiting for the world that waits for you. Well, I'll say my goodbyes. Thanks for all the times, for cleaning up the kitchen and paying all the fines. You never remember, but I'll remember you on the sofa with a book and a candlelight diffuse that burns out each day, each evening, one less, until the winter's gone and you leave this wilderness. Well, I'm buried in my hands and I'm into the ground, with the walls wrapped around me and the ceiling coming down. Wasn't it nice then when we were snowed in, inside with warm hands, bottles and Coke cans? We were just children, blankets we dug in, endless embracing, buried in warm things. Wasn't it nice then when we were snowed in, inside with warm hands, bottles and Coke cans? We were just children, blankets we dug in, endless embracing, buried in warm things. Wasn't it nice then when we were snowed in, inside with warm hands, bottles and Coke cans? We were just children with blankets we dug in, endless embracing, buried in warm things. You got something to get over. Try leaving Minnesota with some regrets still wet from the rain.
Falderals here on the back catalog listening party with Warm Things from their album Radio, which we are revisiting today with Rebecca and Andrew from the Falderals joining us. What a beautiful tune. And I feel like it really conjures up that feeling, like certainly of, being hunkered down. And I love the different sort of the changes and dynamics and rhythm, and like when it kind of builds quite a bit at the end. It's really emotionally impactful.
Yeah, I had the same thought. There is a lot of dynamics in that track, and it really helps kind of push the story along, which kind of gets to one of my questions about your songwriting. Do you guys, is this a collaborative effort with each tune, or do you have kind of your separate notebooks that you keep and then kind of bring them together later? How does that work in your relationship?
We both write songs for sure, and I think then we bring them to each other and then we just evolve them together. So we do have a point where it's like, yeah, you pretty much wrote that, maybe I wrote this, but I think the songs change so much once we bring it together that it really just becomes our songs. And I feel like that's true with almost most of the songs we've done.
Have you ever sat down and said, let's write a song together?
I don't think
No.
so. Hey,
it's MEA weekend.
We should.
No time like the present.
It's MEA weekend. Let's go.
But usually it is like, hey, here's a song I wrote. And then we start playing it. And then very quickly it's like, no, or do this, or and then it's quickly.
It's funny. We're
all around.
Yeah. Like lately I've been writing songs on the ukulele, and it's funny. Like I'll hear him in the other room and he'll be strumming on something, or I'll be playing something, and we'll say to each other like, oh, is that a new song you're working on? Like, when are you gonna, introduce it to me? And so that's kind of how we do it. We just kind of each separately. He's more the poet, and I'm just more recently. But I'll, definitely like with radio. I feel like I was breastfeeding still, like a lot. Just kidding. No,
but I feel like Warm Things, I wrote that with you in mind, and then you made it happen.
Yeah, like I'll work.
The voice came out.
It's very collaborative. It's very we just.
But we've never sat down and been like, let's write it. I don't know. I actually don't know how that would work, because I feel like we both write songs so much from the heart, where it's like, I want to sit down and I'm just want to let something out. So I marvel at people who are like, all right, we need a good song. You play a riff, I'll get some words going. Let's go. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting you mentioned you sometimes write with things with her in mind. So do you guys, during that sort of collaborative part of the process where you're maybe working on arrangements or editing or moving things around, is that when you kind of determine, like, because some songs have, are really just the two of your voices, kind of like where it might be less obvious, oh, this is like a lead and this is, harmony. It's just the two of you as a unit. But for the ones that are more like one person, like, do you guys move that around a little bit? Are you sometimes like, oh yeah, I want you to sing that, or you try it one way and then you're like, let's have you sing that?
Yeah,
for sure.
I write songs and then I immediately capo it to 3, and I'll record it with me with a terrible falsetto, and I'll be like, and then I'll be like, this is for you to sing. Like, you'll make this so much prettier. You sing it, but I just know that it's better. You sing it. Yeah,
that's cool. So you kind of know, like, at least your duo instrumentation going into it. How about the rest of it? So like I'm a huge fan of dobros, and it's not an instrument that you hear that often, honestly. Like you hear slide guitar, but not oftentimes the square neck dobro. Can you tell us a little bit about both the choice to bring that in? It's adding a lot of emotion to the songs. It's adding but it also adds this kind of, I don't know, Americana roots texture to it. So I'd also be curious if you guys have a background in other styles of music that might incorporate resonator guitars and things like that.
I think we just got really lucky to have Shane as a good friend.
Yeah, and we loved his work. I mean, we just loved his playing.
Harry and Shane, they're very good friends, and yeah, we
did hire him, and I think we would love to have him on every album, but we can't afford him all the time. But
he was
teacher
so
salary.
Yeah.
With radio, we did, and Witness, the next album, he did a couple shows with us, and it was really fun.
Yeah,
but I've always loved the dobro and the banjo, and I did play mandolin on our next album, and I do play some mandolin. So we just always wanted that integrated in, and so to have Shane easy access. I think he came over to do like one song one night, and he's so good that we just kept being like, well, let's just.
What about this one? What about this one? What about this one?
Here's more line. What about trying this one? And
him,
and then his wife has such a beautiful voice, Kite Shaw, so she was throwing on a bunch of songs to sing.
Yeah.
So it was a good collaboration, but.
And I think lately, I mean, I'd love to collaborate with them again, but now it's sort of like we've put in the ukulele or the harmonica, to just bring that emotion. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we're going off on what Tony's question about, so your musical backgrounds. Obviously, when you guys met, you each just had guitars and being in the Peace Corps, and that's
and
sort of
what smokes.
Yeah, exactly. So the root of your music was really the guitars and the 2 guitars and 2 voices. But I would be curious about, what kind of music were you like? Did you each grow up listening to? Were you listening to folk music or other roots music styles, or were you kind of rock and roll? Because I can hear a little rock and roll in your songs, in the structure of the songs.
Yeah, good. My dad was he had records, always listening, any kind of record, all types, all like from, Beatles, Bee Gees, Creedence, Clearwater Revival, everything. And I grew up with a really musical background, listening and then singing. I've had no formal singing or lessons or anything, but just absorbed it. And then this guy, though, I think
My parents.
you have a different story.
So my parents, I think they sold all their records at a rummage sale except for their Simon and Garfunkel and their Kingston Trio. So I listened to those two back to back all the time. So that I honestly, my full influence is like if you cross Kingston Trio, 3-part harmonies, banjo, and then Simon and Garfunkel's songwriting. And then I got really into Tom Waits, Nick Drake.
Yeah, but he was recording. What time? What age did you start recording? He was recording
In
really
eighth
young.
grade, yeah.
8th grade, he was
Tascam
recording.
4-track. So I love the poetry of it and writing the songs, and yeah, huge Simon and Garfunkel.
He was in the musicals, and yeah.
But she turned me on to a lot of music and got me going, and still does. We'll still play a game. She'll play the 80s radio station. I'll be like, never heard it. Who's this? She'll be like, you've never heard this PG song? This is like best song.
But if Tom Dooley came on, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Hits are relevant. That whole idea of hits.
But
Right?
I
That's
still
right.
What's a
have to
hit
dig
in your
back
household
and-
is not what's a hit. in
It's
Well, it
are
sounds
good.
like a good balance, honestly. You know, it sounds
But
like you
there's
guys
lots of
bring...
old folk music we now do love
Yeah.
and embrace.
Mhm. Yeah, because I noticed that the tagline on your website is "New Folk for Old Souls," which I really, really love. So, and I love that, just calling it folk because, really, folk is everything.
It's for the folks. Yeah.
It's
for
yeah. full for the
storytelling.
folks. Yeah.
The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. Well, folks, if you're liking what you're hearing, like we're liking what we're hearing, you can pick up this album and their other albums at thefalderals.com. You can also check out their tour dates. Right now, it seems like they're mainly staying close to home because it's the school year. But keep an eye on that. They also have an email list, so you can sign up for that as well. But we want to hear more tracks from this record because the hour goes by so fast. And the next track that you picked to feature is one of my favorites, the title track "Radio," and also a favorite of DJs everywhere because DJs love to play songs about the radio. So, is there anything you want to say about this tune?
Well, you want to tell the story?
You can.
So we used to play at the Midtown Global Market a lot.
Mhm.
They used to have folk acts there. I don't know if they do anymore. And one day they came up and said, and we would always play John Prine's Angel of Montgomery.
Mhm.
And they announced one day they didn't pay the ASCAP fees so that you couldn't play any more covers. So it was kind of a folk challenge at that time. I was like, I want to write a sequel to John Prine's Angel of Montgomery. And that's where we wrote Radio.
Radio's the sequel.
It's not as good, of course. It's not John Prine, but I really love the song. We're proud of it. But that's always in my head. I always think it's the sequel. It's the older woman who now works at a diner, and her only comfort is listening to the radio.
Fantastic. Love the setup. Let's give it a spin. The Falderals with Radio here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
The sunrise comes quickly, but I rise so slow. I bury my dreamings, turn on my radio. Radio. I've been working this counter since God only knows. This rag and this apron and this old radio. The song says, marry me, take me away, away. Build me a home far away, away. Marry me and take me away, away. Build me a home far away, away. I'm waiting for sundown since first light of day. Sit my table, one cup and one plate. When the house is all shadows and memories are ghosts, I lay down in bed and turn on the radio. Radio.
I like the little crackle at the end there. I don't know if that was an intentional crackle or if that was the results of kids or home recording.
All of the
But
above.
it fit perfectly.
It's funny, there was days I'd be embarrassed by how lo-fi it was. And now my daughter is so anti-AI. She's like, I want to hear a song where there's a mistake. So
Yeah.
I know it's not
Yeah.
an AI song. I'm like, okay,
Amen.
maybe they'll come back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, yeah, the humanity comes through, you know, and,
Yeah.
and I think for folk music especially, I think the more crinkles and cracks and creaks, the better.
I know. And when you think back to the original source material for the song, Angel from Montgomery, recorded in 1971. So, 54 years ago.
Wow.
But a lot of that album is kind of, it's a professional recording, but it feels a little creaky,
Yeah.
and in all the best ways. And
Yeah.
and I feel like this is such a wonderful sequel to that song. And I just want to raise a glass because it would have been just a couple weeks ago or just last week celebrated what
yes.
would have been John Prine's 79th birthday.
Yeah.
So
We all miss
Cheers
John
to
Prine,
John
don't
Prine.
we?
John Prine.
Yeah.
influenced so many. So
Yes.
Andrew, you mentioned that, the only two albums you got to listen to in your house growing up was Simon and Garfunkel and Kingston Trio. So John Prine might have been a later arrival for you, right?
He was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the influence of Rebecca there?
Probably. I was exaggerating a little. I had some REM cassette tapes and a lot of YouTube.
He branched out in college a little bit.
It is those foundational years, when you're a kid, 8 years old, listening to the albums your parents have. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really true. But that song is so great. Folks loving the song, loving the music. And I know that there's something about that chorus and I love that you let it breathe a lot at the end there. Because it feels so good to sing it like over and over. It feels like I don't know, like it has a mantra vibe, even though it's a story song, which is unusual to have those two things coexist. But I feel like I could just it's very meditative.
It was really fun to re-listen to radio. I appreciate you guys for doing this.
Yeah. Cool.
You never, as a musician, go back and listen to an album you did 2011, whenever that was, and doing it was really powerful. And we got to think a lot of things and see the mistakes, but part of it was this was really meaningful moment for our lives, whatever it meant.
And that was where Kari Shah was in the background there, Shane Akers' wife. So it was again, just like a cool memory too, to do that with friends and, collaborate in that way. Yeah.
But yeah, that was all done in this room, which is a terrible room for acoustics. And the one recording thing I'll never forget is that's the first album where someone finally took me aside and said, all the recording tricks aside, buy a better microphone. And I was like, oh, I never knew that. You had a better microphone for that.
Pro tip out there, folks, if you're doing home recording.
Get a condenser microphone and take a good take. Yeah, that's the main thing that we learned. But,
but it does start with good music. That is true. So it doesn't matter if there's mistakes or weird ghosts in the machines if you have good source material. That's for sure.
and the feelings are there, and there's something about the space. Like there's a theme that seems to be popping up here between the kids being in the other room or maybe fighting and showing up on the track, and the space you're recording it, and the friends coming over. That all it ties in kind of with the feelings I'm getting from listening to the music. Like it feels really personal, like we're in your house. in the best way, and I think that's what really good folk music does, is it kind of brings you in that way. So I think it's just right.
Yeah. And I also love that on that song, kind of echoing what Tony just said, is that like there's an intimacy to listening to the radio, where you feel like you have a connection. And I feel like you tapped into that with the narrator of that song being like, like her only companion is kind of the radio, and you listen to the song, you feel that, and you feel like you're, and in a weird way, the song does the same thing that the radio does for the narrator, is that it kind of pulls you into her like personal space and in life, a little look into what's going on.
Absolutely. Nailed it. And, Mother Banjo, nailed it.
You did nail it. And I was thinking about this just today when I was driving, because we have started listening to the radio more in our car. We used to carry around the big blocks of CDs and feed them in.
CD books.
CD books, and I still have it. But now I'm like, I kind of do like listening to the radio. And it's like the surprise of the song you have on a CD right there, but you're connected with the people. And I love that. Of all the technology things, the podcast, the everything, we still listen to the radio to connect with other people around a song.
Yeah, that's great. I recently saw, it was like a ad for one of the public radio stations, maybe in town or something, but they were interviewing people of why they donated. And this person was like, I quit all my streaming places, and now I listen to the best, curated human-made playlists, which is called radio.
What is this
it's
thing?
Like,
It's awesome.
You can't beat a
like that hasn't died.
DJ.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
DJ. And when you hear a song you love and you're sharing it with the world, it's kind of weird. It's like, I could play this tomorrow night, but it's better right now in the car with the world. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things we love about doing this show too. There's something also special about listening to music, even if it's recorded with other people. And knowing there's other people listening, there is something kind of magical about that, especially if you're in different places, right? So I think right now that radio is also like streamed on the internet, and you can sometimes listen to archived shows. Like it just means that there's like more people connecting through the music, and we really appreciate all of you for joining us, whether you're listening to the podcast version or joining us for the live show, because it's really. Like we can feel you out there, and we like actually see your comments and all of that. But we are really grateful to hear these songs in community with other people, because I've listened to this record a million times on my own and have played it on the radio. But like, there's something about listening to it with other people where you're not distracted and you're not doing anything else that I think is really special. And I'm getting a whole new appreciation for these songs. And if you are too, you can buy this record. You can buy a CD copy. Again, there's a theme today about going back to old technologies, whether it's radio or CDs. Maybe we'll go back to 8 tracks. Who knows?
Maybe.
Dust it off, folks.
And I will say, before we run out of time, we did just put a new album out called Marigold.
I was just going to ask you about that. That's perfect. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the new record? It came out this summer, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called Marigold, and it's, again, thematic. It's about raising kids. Truly raising kids, and because we have 2 adult children now, and so just the the ins and outs of that. And it's a really personal album to us. We're really proud of it. We worked hard, but we did it kind of on our own again. It's very simple. It's very basic, but hopefully, check it out, see what you think. Yeah.
Marigold, folks. And you go to thefalderals.com. You can pick up the new record. You can pick up this album we're talking about today, Radio, and all their albums there. And you can check out their tour dates. And before I forget, Christopher wanted to know, he said, I'm guessing it's hard to hit the road these days, but do you have a favorite place to perform? Do you have a favorite venue or location that you've played at?
Well, we've played at the White Squirrel now a couple times, and we love it. St. Paul local venue.
So
you got to support the White Squirrel. They have Sunday shows. They have outdoor. We did an outdoor
shows
CD
even on the
release.
Weekends. It's amazing.
And we love it. But we're also playing at the Vine Room in Hopkins, if you can drive all the way over there. And they've been very supportive, and it's a cool place for small bands. But yeah, our favorite place to play?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Two.
Whoever will have us,
Your favorite place is wherever you are.
Wherever we are.
I have to say, during COVID, we just did front yard shows once a month for our neighborhood, and that was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something special about that time because it brought together even people who wouldn't normally go out to shows.
Yeah.
Just because they wanted to see people, human beings in real life.
Yeah.
Which is a good reminder, folks.
Yeah.
You can see music performed in real life. We're talking about old technologies. The oldest technology is live humans playing music for other people. So,
Mother Banjo, what's your favorite place right now to play?
Well, in town?
Yeah, in town.
Well, I mean, it depends. Are we talking small, big? Because White Squirrel would be up there for the the neighborhood bar, sweet vibes. Definitely. I mean, the Cedar still continues to be one of my favorite places because
Cedar,
just the best sound in town.
Yeah.
And the nicest people. But I mean, there's so many. I mean, we got the Dakota, we got Parkway, we got Astor for smaller shows. Ice House. We're so lucky here to have so many great venues. And folks, again, go to thefalderals.com to check out where they are playing. But we also want to thank the folks that keep this show going. We've been hosting this show since COVID times. This was our kind of virtual front porch, if you will, our way of connecting with our neighbors and the musicians that we didn't get to see around at the clubs and bars. And so we started the show. Tony started the show. It was his grand idea. And he invited me along to the party, and all of you joined as well. And even when things opened up, a bunch of dedicated folks said, no, we want to keep this thing going. So we continued the show and turned it into a podcast. And here we are 5.5 years later, thanks to Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Ellen, Chris, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark, Severin, Lynn, Mary, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Wiley, Christy, Diane, Hetty, Sandy, Neighbor, Ann BZ, Paul, Cynthia, Ross, Mike, and maybe you. If you would like to join our mighty crew of really dedicated music nerds.
Yes.
And as a badge of honor, you not only do, one of the perks, of course, you get invited to the live tapings, you get to have first look at all the guests, other special online happenings, but you also, as your badge of honor, as kind of a membership card, you get, while supplies last, the back catalog listening party pint glass.
That's
Enjoy
right.
all your musical happy
Supplies
hours.
are dwindling, folks. So
And he's not just talking about his beer. He's talking about the actual glasses. We're running.
we do have a handful of we're calling them our founders pint glasses. So yeah,
that's right.
We'd love to have you join us. It's like we get together almost every week, and no matter what crazy things are happening in the world around us, and it just seems to be crazier by the day ever since 2020. There's this little oasis that we call our live podcast tapings, and when we get together, like you mentioned earlier, Ellen, something happens when you're not listening alone and you're listening with no agenda other than appreciation. It's different than a new record where you're promoting it and things like that. You're just enjoying the music for what it is. And we, of course, get to nerd out about all the, recording and the songwriting and all that kind of stuff. But if you are interested in that kind of thing and could use a break once a week, we'd love to have you join our community. You can just visit patreon.com/backcatalog listening party and get all the details.
That's right. And we're going to squeeze in one more song before, because this hour has gone by super fast, as it always does. And this last track that you picked to feature is called Koan, if I said that correctly.
Or was it String and a Kite? Which one we're going to end on?
Whatever you have queued up.
Whatever, man.
We have them both. We have them both.
Do String and a Kite.
Oh.
Do String and a Kite if you got it. I know it's kind of a somber ending, but it's probably one of the favorite songs I have of all time of us. And it's written about a woman who has a baby in her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. That's
the beauty of that.
Wonderful. And a good way to close out our hour here. This is the Falderals with String and a Kite here on the Back.
Thank you for hosting us. This was awesome.
Listening party. Thank you so much for being here.
She's designed to weave from inside a wind and a kite and a string and a life. I can trace the lines from her neck to her thighs, the smooth landscape of a world about to quake. She's a tower in the city, in the country of the world, with a flower in a belly that will blossom into a pearl. When she sleeps, I can dream. When she dreams, I can sigh. When she's safe, then he's safe, and then I'm safe. And the wound inside is a star in the sky of a child as he sleeps in the walls of safety. The string and the kite and the wind made of life, and me with just my hands like a weight upon my wife. She's a tower in the city, in the country of the world, with a flower in her belly that will blossom into a pearl. When she sleeps, I can dream. When she dreams, I can sigh. When she's safe, then he's safe, and I'm safe. She's a tower in the city, in the country, in the world, with a flower in her belly that will blossom into a pearl. When she sleeps, I can dream. When she dreams, I can sigh. When she's safe, then he's safe, and I'm safe. She's designed to weave from inside a wind and a kite and a string and a life.
All right. Beautiful way
Nice.
to end the show. The Falderals with String and a Kite from their 2011 release Radio, which is available on CD and in the digital formats, but get the high-res files if you're listening digitally. You can get those on Bandcamp or through their website. It's the best way to support the artists and the best way to enjoy the music, because if you're loving it on the podcast or here on the live show, it's going to sound even better when you listen to it with, as Tony says, all the ones and zeros. So
That's right.
and then you get to hear all those little extra noises we were talking about.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
creaks, the kids fighting.
The creaks, yes.
Those sounds
all
are not
that.
available on streaming platforms. There's not enough fidelity to hear all of that. But yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you both, Rebecca and Andrew, for joining us. Thanks to
Yeah,
all of you.
thank you.
Folks are loving the music, loving the show. The comments are flying in. Can't get to all of them, but folks are loving the stories and the songs, and we are as well. And that's what this show is all about.
Well,
So
thank you too
Thank
for
you,
keeping this
Mother
going.
Banjo
You guys
and
rock.
Anthony. Thank you so much for having us.
Our pleasure.
been
Thank you so
fun.
much for
So
joining
fun.
us and sharing all of this with us. It never fails to brighten my week to you listen to music and hear stories, and it's also very real, and we appreciate that.
yes, here's to real music made by real humans.
That's right.
And
Yes.
get out there to enjoy some of it in real life. And we'll be back next week with another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party. And if you like this episode, make sure to review it, subscribe, because again, we'll be back next week with a whole nother great album to chat about.
100%
Awesome.
real,
Sweet.
folks.
Who's on next week?
I don't even know, but
But it's going to be good.
it's gonna be
That's
good.
right.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
You
We'll
guys
see you
are
next
great.
week here on the Back
Cheers.
Catalog
Thank you.
Listening
Thank
Party.
you.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.